grid was not synchronized with the remaining grid, and that's why the southern grid was not hit for this blackout. All other grid, all other
Sir,
grids
this year also the some blackout is in Mumbai.
yeah, but that was localized. Here the blackout means wider. Okay. So when all the regions are synchronized, then blackout is a real challenge, because cascading of blackout is a very common thing. And other losses and other factors are also there. But definitely the advantages outweighs the disadvantages. That's why we are going more and more larger network of networks. So this war of current is not yet over, and nowadays we are doing lot of generation, load, storage on the DC. You all agree with that. You can see all of you are having mobile phone, laptops, LED lights. They all are DC powered, right? Inherently, we are connecting them with the AC charger, whether it is mobile or laptop or desktop, but inherently they are DC load. They can be connected directly with the DC power. Similarly, your renewable like solar PV, fuel cell, batteries, they are all DC in nature. Okay, so the earlier war or earlier struggle or rivalry was between AC and DC was of existence, whether AC will exist or DC will exist. And somehow the AC is prevailing for last more than 100 years. But in recent few years, the DC is evolving fast, and now the war is for coexistence. That how much space DC will capture or AC will give to the DC system, and the both AC and DC will coexist together. Without that, we cannot survive, because if we still say no, only AC will remain there. Whatever DC is there that has to be converted into AC, then only we will use it. Then our system is not efficient enough. I think earlier speaker must have covered that also, that in his topic. But instead of continuing in a heated AC versus DC battle, it looks like the two current will end up working parallel to each other in a sort of hybrid system. None of that would be possible without genius of both Tesla and Edison. But definitely we should give credit to Tesla and Edison for this. And without both of them, it is impossible, because nowadays we cannot assume the life without just for an hour of without electricity. All of us get means it's like fish without water. So we are so much dependent on electricity like air and water. So it's like oxygen for our devices. So if our devices don't get oxygen, we get disturbed. No? If our battery of our mobile phone is going down and we don't get the chance to charge it, then see, a lot of noise is coming from the mobile signals only. So this is a typical hybrid microgrid structure, and we will talk in detail in the later section of my presentation, where I will show the actual hybrid microgrid that we have established. The structure is similar to this, so I'm just giving you a overview structure of AC/DC microgrid, hybrid microgrid, where it is connected with the utility grid with the point of common coupling. So the upper half is showing AC microgrid, lower half is AC microgrid, and in between there is an interlinking converter which can exchange the power bidirectionally between them. And this dotted line is showing the local communication with all the converters and the controller, supervisory controller, and the utility grid. So it can operate in both grid connected mode as well as standalone mode, import to the grid, export from the main grid, interchange of the power between DC grid and AC grid. So one of the current project, this is under Imprint Screen, we are developing the real-time energy management system for this AC/DC hybrid microgrid. So we have most of these components shown in this figure in our actual microgrid, hybrid microgrid at IIT Kharagpur. Okay, any question till here? Because I'm moving to the next section. Any question till here?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, anybody who has any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask later also. You just keep noting your questions. We can take up at the end. So I will stop around maybe around 11:15, and we'll discuss or summarize whatever we have discussed till today. Okay, let's move to the global energy scenario, and because we should know where do we exist and what other countries are doing, what is going around the world, and how the energy system on the global basis have increased. So, have you heard about this IEA? So it is International Energy Agency, and they publish one Atlas of Energy. And if you allow, I can give you a glimpse of this. Just a minute. So if you go to this link, which I have given at the bottom, you will find very interesting details about the global energy scenario. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's coming.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let it come. Then, meantime, I let me continue with this. It's taking time actually. So here you will find that a lot of different type of sections are there, and for each section you will find details over the last almost you can say 50 years. So 30 plus 20, 50 years, more than 50 years. Okay, so for last 50 years, how the scenario has changed over the globe. And in this picture, you can see the total electricity generation was 5,000 trillion watt hour in 1973. And these are the circles which are representing the size of the system for each country. So you can see this is the North America, then this is Asian, China, India, in various countries in UK. Though, so it clearly indicates the relative size, and that US was dominating. Then in 1990, sizes have increased because size overall has increased. In 2003, it has further increased, and still the North America is dominating. And you can see in 2018, all of a sudden, the circle of the China has gone much bigger than all other. And the overall energy generation in the globe is around 26,000 trillion watt hour at present. At present means the data, latest data they have updated is for 2018. So this is about the yes. Okay, yeah. So this is the site which I was talking about, and this is the timeline. So you see, if you can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm moving the timeline. You see, I'm moving this circle. So starting from 1973, if you move this line for every year, the data is changing and the size of the circles are changing, and it is coming like this. Okay, so you can see that circle, and then if you take the cursor on that, it will give you the name and the data on that. So this is about the total energy value, and then you can find consumption, you can find the share of industry, you can find the transportation sector share, residential share in each of them, and a lot of other information is given. So it's very interesting site to visit, where you get a lot of data. So it has different topics and country profiles. Under topics, you will find coal, electricity, energy balance, energy indicators, then natural gas, oil, renewables, CO2 emission. So there are 8 topics, and for each topic you will find a lot of data. So like in electricity, you will get this information. Any question here? Okay, so I hope that you will find it interesting and you will visit this. Any question here?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the list of major countries and their data regarding their consumption, their population, source of that data, and year of that data also. So major point here is the per capita consumption based on the total electricity generation and the population. So you just divide the total electricity generation divided by population, you get the per capita this what do you call per capita electricity consumption. So that is in kilowatt hour per person per year. So you can see this figure is quite large vary, and our figure is hardly around 1000, and where US is 12,000 and Canada is 14,000, even China is 4,000, more than 4,000, and somewhere South Korea 9,000. So these figures are quite largely varying, and the average is around 4,000. World average is around 4,000. World average means total world electricity consumption divided by total population. So we are significantly far away from the world average even. China has crossed the world average, and so that is not a good signal. However, here the world average is shown quite less, it's 2,600, but recently it has gone to 4,000. From this, I have summarized few things here which are interesting. So till 2018 data which is updated there, total world gross electricity production share from the fossil fuel is around 64%. This is global data. Fossil fuel like biofuels and waste is 2.4%, hydro 16%, nuclear 10%, wind 5%, solar is 2%, like that. Top 5 countries which are dominating the generation belongs to top one is China, followed by US. India is the third one. Our per capita consumption is very low because of the large population, but among the top 5, India is the third one among the amount of electricity generation, followed by Russia and then 50% of the total world generation, that is 26,000 trillion watt hour. Renewable is increasing and become the second largest contributor to the global electricity production and accounts for around 25% after the coal, gas, and nuclear. Coal and gas actually, and just after coal, second one, then followed by gas, nuclear, and oil. And the average increase in the growth of renewable production is around 4% per annum, which is greater than the average growth rate of the total electricity generation is around 3%. Okay. Why the renewable growth is more than the total growth? Can anybody mention the reason? The last point. The renewable electricity generation worldwide grew on an average by 3.9% per annum, which is greater than the average growth rate of total electricity generation.
Sir, I think the efficiency of the solar module and the renewable energy wind power generation has been improved so a lot in last 10 to 20 years.
Yes, so that is fine. But my question is, if the overall growth is around 3%, how the one of the component which is
because we have stopped the nuclear power plant and thermal power plant.
No.
We have
no. Anybody else? It is, I'm giving you a hint. It is talking about the trillion watt hour energy. It is not talking about the watt, kilowatt or megawatt or gigawatt. It is talking about the energy, not power. Yes, anybody else? My question is, how the overall growth or average growth of the total electricity generation is 3% only, but the one of the component, that is renewable energy generation, is growing more than that, that is 4%. If one of the component is growing at 4%, then it total should grow more than 4%. Nah?
This rate of growth only compared to previous years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rate of growth, but in the same year, na? But it is not annual, actually, it is since 1990. And this is the average growth rate.
Sir, actually,
others have declined, actually, sir. Negative growth.
Renewable energy generation is
Yes, others are declining. That is
negative growth.
that
Negative
impact is
growth.
very, very low. That is a factor I accept, but that effect is very, very low. There is one other factor which is more dominant. Yes, somebody else was saying something.
So what I was saying is nowadays the need of renewable energy is becoming large day by day.
So
It has to be increased as the power, as the total electricity generation, but consumers are the need of the electricity is also increasing day by day. Right?
no, I think you have not understood the question. My question is the total is 3%, then how renewable can grow more than total, which is 4%?
Sir,
See, yeah,
it is actually
one by one, please.
from renewable. It's different because growth from only from renewable only, and
Yes.
and total is different. This is the.
No, total includes renewable, no?
Sir, I think that renewable is now replacing the conventional form of energy.
Yeah, someone has already answered that, but I said that is not the major reason. That is a
Okay.
small fraction of the reason, but another dominant reason is something else. See, I've given you a hint. It is talking about the energy, not the power.
So renewable energy has the option to store.
No, doesn't relate it to storage.
Many
Suppose
power
I
plants shut down,
huh?
sir. Many old power plants shut down and totally.
Same thing,
Giving
same thing. You are
subsidies for
repeating the same thing.
renewable
I
energy.
told you that is a factor, but that has a very small weightage to this reason. See, I am telling you, it's talking about energy, not the power. So suppose I put a 100 kilowatt solar plant. So, and I ask you to calculate how much energy it will generate. How will you calculate?
Okay, some in night solar power plant is not generating.
Yes. So that is the difference. Suppose I
Yes,
put
yes,
a 100 kilowatt plant, right?
Yes, sir.
So the energy generation is not for 24 hours.
Yes, sir.
And that is the reason that even if you increase the renewable, right? So their generation will not be that much contributing. Now let's come to the comparison among few important, specific cases of some countries for a specific topic like electricity generation. So you see the growth of China is really, really significantly high, exponential rise. Okay, and then second one is for the United States, that is also rising in a good manner. And the third is India. Indian growth is also quite good, but you see Russian Federation is almost flat. Do you know what is the advantage they have, like in US or UK or Russia? Their population growth is almost stagnant. So once their demand is not increasing, their population is not increasing, means demand is not increasing. And whatever energy efficient measures that we are adopting today, they have already adopted few years back. So they have lot of energy efficient options they have already adopted. Demand is not increasing, and that is the only reason they have a high per capita consumption, because their generation is still increasing, demand is not increasing, energy efficiency is improved. So that's why their per capita consumption will increase. But in China and India, we have a huge population growth still going on, right? And our generation is not increasing as that good. Our China is increasing in a much faster manner. Then electricity consumption per capita, you see that US is at the top. However, you see that has reduced a little bit or has become constant also. So why this has reduced? Because the demand is not increasing, population is not increasing, and energy efficiency measures have been taken significantly. China, you see, it is orange, it is increasing. Russian Federation is almost stagnant, and India is also rising, but with a very slow rate. These two are very interesting curve, and here you can see one interesting curve is for the Denmark. Can you tell why it is like this? Denmark curve, which is sharply falling after 2000 or 1995.
So
This curve
because
is
it is using a renewable form of energy mostly.
which one?
They
Denmark.
have installed so much amount of
Which energy?
wind power plant. Wind power plant have
Wind power
stopped
and solar power.
Yes, sir.
Wind power, right. So Denmark actually was the first country who started this wind energy for power generation. And now they have a significant share of the wind energy, and that's how the share of the fossil fuel has reduced significantly in the last 20-15 years. Right, but all others have almost stagnant. You see, hardly for the US there is a small reduction because of the shale gas revolution. The natural gas is now more than the coal consumption they have. So their natural gas consumption has increased compared to the coal consumption, but more or less it is in the same band. They have not changed a lot. And the lower one is for the nuclear. It's the only country in the world is France, which is having almost 80% share from the nuclear. And Japan, with the recent accident, they have reduced their nuclear in a significant manner. And all the countries are stagnant. They are not neither increasing nor decreasing. And a lot of political pressure is there. A lot of safety issues are there. And that safety concern is a major challenge, which is not increasing the nuclear share in a good manner. Okay. This is a share of renewable increase in electricity production in the last few years, and you can see here again the Denmark, as I've told you, because the wind has grown to more than 70%, but others are also increasing and going in a different share. So in India, you can see the share has gone down, the brown one. The last one, brown one is a share which has gone down because initially the generation was very low. Overall generation was very low. So we have increased the generation, but the share of coal is dominating in that share of increase. And that's why the renewable share has effectively reduced. Actually, it is increasing now. Now wind and solar is increasing, but at the same time, the rate of growth in the fossil is more than the rate of growth in the renewables. Any question till here? So globally, the largest electricity consuming countries are China, 26-27%, US followed by this. Then together, these two countries account for 40% of global consumption, followed by India is again third number, Japan, Russia, Germany, and all that. So in India, top 10 consuming countries account for more than 2/3 of global electricity consumption. And the global natural gas production has hit the new record, as I was telling you. The shale gas revolution in US, China, and Arabian countries. So global consumption of gas is still vastly dominated. Over the half of the global gas production dominated by the top 5, US, Russia, Iran, Canada, and Qatar. Any question here?
No, sir.
And I'm not very happy to listen, no, sir. I'll be more happy to see somebody is asking something. How it can be so straightforward, no, sir?
Sir, I have
Yeah,
a
please.
question. Sir, since, as we all know, the need of renewable is getting high day by day, but still
What is increasing?
need of renewable energy, like
Need.
you can
Yeah.
simply say solar.
Yeah.
But we could not able to show much improvement as other countries are doing right now.
See, we cannot say that we are not doing good. We are doing beyond than our commitment. Actually, I will show on one of the slides that our commitment was of 175 gigawatt for by 2022, and different share among that in that 175, and then we have achieved almost 90% of that. So we cannot say that we are not doing good. We are doing good. Our challenges are different. See, every country is unique in terms of their resources, in terms of their challenges. So our challenges are different. Our issues are different in the sense that the population is the first major challenge. Then the distribution companies are not doing very well. That is another major challenge. There are a lot of managerial inefficiencies are involved. There are a lot of technical issues are involved. There are a lot of non-support from the consumer side. There is a lot of power theft happens, and the the revenue collection of the tariff is not that efficient. We have in that say you say that our system is collectively growth for all the sectors.
Yes, sir. But you see, nowadays a lot of solar cars are coming in the way, like solar auto, battery auto. You can simply say it is battery auto. It can run in solar, but not always, right? So the production itself, it is very less in India when compared to all other countries. Why? Because the cost of the battery is high. Battery costs more. Why not our government is taking steps to initialize something regarding the batteries? Because the battery is the main thing for any solar car that we are using. Solar car,
Yes.
not only solar car, solar bike we are using, electric bike we are saying. But we are not saying, government is not taking much step, right?
Right.
But we are in need of that.
Yes, you are right. You are right that we need that, but I don't agree that government is not doing anything. See, if every time we put the blame on someone and stop our role, then the story does not finish there. It is not the matter that who is the culprit. It is the matter that what you are contributing. Are you contributing anything in that? If you are not, then you are equally blamed as the government.
Yes, sir, I agree.
Right. So first of all, you should understand that whenever new things come, it is not that suppose government announced or Maruti Suzuki announced that we are coming with a totally new solar powered, battery powered car, but it is costing 5 lakh rupees more than the usual car. Are you going to buy that?
Oh.
No, nobody will go to buy that. What we'll do, we'll say, okay, it has come. Let others purchase it. Let it tested in the market. Let it prove its
Quality.
its value. Right? There may be some technical challenges. There will be chalega ki nahi chalega. A lot of issues will be there. So we'll wait for it. Right? So same thing happens with any new thing. Any new technology comes. We all wait for it when it is matured, when it is tested, and then our pocket allows it. Then only we invest on it.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
So don't blame on the government. That government is not doing anything. Government is doing much good things.
Is not to blame the
It is
government.
only that you are not aware of it. Okay. So first of all, we should make ourselves aware what is happening, what are the policies have been made, what the technological developments have been made. Definitely, we are far behind than the top countries. For the one simple example is that still there is no company in India who is making the solar cells or wafers. Whoever is making the solar panel, they are making the modules. They are not making the wafers or cells. They are importing the wafers, they are importing the cells, and then making the modules. So in China, Taiwan is a small country. They have several companies who are making the cells and then they are exporting to the India. Right. If we have that part also here, then definitely our module cost will further reduce. Right.
Absolutely, sir. But my intention is not to blame the government. But what I'm asking is, what I said is about the cost of the battery. Lithium ion is the main thing for any solar.
Here, whenever a new technology comes, it is costly. It is a chicken and egg problem. Who comes first?
Yes.
Okay. So until there is a demand, how they are supposed to give you in a low cost?
There is
when there will be demand, they will produce in a mass scale. The cost will automatically reduce.
Demand is now high.
You start purchasing the electric vehicle in a large number, electric vehicle cost will reduce, definitely. But there are hardly few people who are purchasing it.
Yes.
There is no demand. So there is no demand, so production cost is high.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good. It's good that we have this kind of interaction. Then only our session is makes sense, useful. Anybody else? Any question? Okay, let's move on to the next section. Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Indian power system. So I'm just giving you the figures of 1950s. How was our Indian power system? Our installed capacity was less than 2 gigawatt. Annual energy generation was 5 billion units. Capita consumption was hardly 15 units. 15 units per capita per person. Transmission lines was hardly 3,000 kilometers, and the share among the public and private was 67 to 33. Now these figures have drastically changed, and it's only because of the government. You cannot say government is not doing anything, and not only government, the private sector that has played a very strong and positive role in that. Okay, so if I just compare with 2015, we have crossed to 275 gigawatt per capita consumption was gone beyond 1,000. Per capita consumption as well as the annual energy generation, both kilometer of transmission line has gone in lakhs of kilometers, and the ratio of this private and public has also got changed, and lot of central level generation and state level generation has come. Okay, so now these figures have further changed. These figures are 5 years back. So I will share you the recent figures, which are further more than this, much more than this, and so it is growing in a very fast manner, and very sharp rise increase is there. So we should see where from we have started and when. Okay, then you say that why we are not doing as US is doing. China is the exception. I agree with you, and definitely we should have that kind of government initiatives like China has. So if we compare on some important figures like power system and power market. So system means the generation side, transmission side, and all that. So our peak demand is almost 50% of our total installed capacity, 175 gigawatt right now. And per day we have around 4 billion units energy met. This hydropower, wind power, and total installed capacity is now more than 365 gigawatt. Out of that, thermal, hydro, wind has major share. Total number of generations, HVDC lines, and the transmission lines. So we are operating at 765 kilovolt, but now we have started also 1200 kilovolt transmission lines in some sectors as a testing option. And on the market side, we have grown significantly, and the short-term market has gone up to 10% of the total market here. This is a long-term market. So there we have power trading traders also. Now the power trading is a licensed activity. We have 43 players, more than that. This keeps varying every year. Market participants are there significantly. We have 2 power exchanges. One is called Indian Energy Exchange, one is called Power Exchange of India Limited. How many of you know this power exchange? Anybody knows power exchange? Heard about power exchange? Hello?
The power exchange is nothing but between two states they can change the exchange.
States?
Yeah.
No?
In between supporting, for example, in between corporations also.
No, I'm asking what is power exchange?
Suppose we are generating much more power. So suppose we are our consumption is, let us take one example. Suppose 10 kilowatt power is generating in a particular house by solar
Okay.
or wind. Suppose
Okay.
on that house only 5 kilowatt power they can use per day. So 5 kilowatt extra power that has been generated on that house or on that building, that can be exchanged, or that can be sold to the state distribution companies. That means that power can be used some other house or local area. That power can be used. This at the time when we require the power, we can take the power.
Then it is a bilateral between that house and the distribution company.
Exactly. That is the exchange
I'm
of
asking for
power.
the power exchange, not bilateral. Bilateral is different.
Okay.
Have you heard about power exchange? Anyone? Anyone has heard about power exchange? We have two power exchange in India. Have you heard about Indian
I
Energy
think
Exchange?
where the we can purchase power or just like a stock exchange of India, we
Very
have a
good.
power exchange of there we can sell prosumer or producer can sell their power in the
Okay.
market.
Okay. Very good. Very good. How it is different from stock exchange? Is it different from power exchange in some
No.
aspect?
It's just like power. It's just like a power exchange also, where the different type of
No.
algorithm is there.
No. It is not just like a stock exchange. There are few important difference because the product is different, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, product is different.
So how it is different from stock exchange?
The
It has lot of similarities. I agree with you. It has lot of similarities with the stock exchange, but there are few important difference also. How many of you have have experienced the stock exchange or stock market?
Sir,
Anyone has
today have
stock market?
Yeah.
Demat account you have?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So how do you operate your Demat account, or what do you do in stock market?
Trading can be done, sir.
How do you do that?
if
Suppose you want to sell,
IPOs are there
you
or
want to sell
there
your
is a low
share.
price.
What do you do?
Buy or sell orders, sir.
So what kind of sell order? What are the specification you give in your sell order?
We can have limit order. We can. Yeah.
So you specify that I will sell this much amount, right? This much number of shares. Quantity, you mention the quantity,
And price
you
also
mention
will
the
be
price that I will not sell below this price. This is
below
my
this limit order. It is.
you have a minimum price. When you are selling, you will say I'm sale with at a minimum this much price, right?
Yes, sir.
Like bidding, sir.
Huh?
Like bidding.
Yeah,
No.
it's a bidding.
Yeah.
It's a bidding process.
Okay.
And when you are going to purchase, then what do you say?
We'll ask for
We will for low prices. Looking for
again
Low
limit
prices or
order.
maximum prices?
We'll limit
sale
order.
for maximum price, sir. And
Yes.
Buying at the lowest price.
Maximum price. You will say that I will not purchase beyond this price.
Beyond
This is
this.
the maximum price I will pay for this much quantity, right?
Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes.
So,
Yes, sir.
so in this way, the bids are collected from different players, both sides, supplier side and demand side.
Yes, sir.
So you have a supply and demand curves. Now these two curves are intersect each other.
At that point, the order will be executed.
So on a price quantity curve, if you intersect the demand and supply curves, you will get a point of intersection, and that will give you the market clearing price and market clearing volume.
So
So that
today
is
I
the
have
basic philosophy which is used in stock market as well as power exchange. Stock exchange and power exchange same.
So today I have seen in paper that we are going to say means we got the solar power in lowest price per unit 2 rupees. It seems to be given. It seems to be today. The bidding
Yeah.
has been done last year 2 rupees 36 paisa, but
Right.
this year it came to be 2 rupees from Saudi Arabia company. Means is
Yes.
this also the same as power exchange or a different, sir?
No, if it is from different countries, then it may be a different power exchange. Every country has its own power exchange.
No, sir. In our country, they are doing that project. It seems to be.
They are bidding, huh? So
Yeah.
that price you are talking is actually not for the power exchange. That is actually that they have bid that they will build the plant and they will charge this much tariff.
Okay. Okay.
Now the plant, that generation plant is based on the tariff basis.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, when you are going to install a plant, you have to quote the price at which you will charge your energy. Understand? Now here I am talking about the short-term market. Power exchange is a short-term market where you do for day-ahead basis. Whatever bids are collected, they have been settled, and all that settlement is done. That is on the day-ahead basis.
So
And
these
the
are
next
long-term
day-
markets, sir. Now whatever they are bidding today, whatever I have seen.
Yeah, that may be long-term also. That may be a preferential tariff category or long term also.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
the difference between stock exchange and power exchange is that in stock exchange, whatever shares you sell or purchase, that will simply reflect on your Demat account. There is no physical delivery involved. Do you get any share papers physically after your settlement? No. In stock exchange? No. But in power exchange, whatever settlement has done for the amount of energy, right, at whatever price, that has to be delivered next 24 hours. So that how it becomes different from the stock exchange. Now above that delivery cannot be done in a packet and through the courier or through the transportation or railway or road or ship. That has to be done only through the transmission line. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So that becomes electricity commodity unique from the other commodities. And that's how the power exchanges are different from the other exchanges. So another section involved after the settlement of market is the transmission allocation. So until you have enough transmission passage available or without congestion, then only you will be able to execute it. So you have to have ensured that there has to be a sufficient transmission corridor available to transmit the energy which is settled in the power exchange one day ahead. So next day, NLDC ensures, the National Load Dispatch Center ensures that whatever has been transacted settlement has to be executed to the transmission line. That is also decided mutually with the power exchange and the NLDC. You know about SLDC, RLDC, NLDC?
Yes, sir.
So NLDC is the topmost National Load Dispatch Center, which interact because these are the national power exchange. So it is done on the national basis. It is not state-wise power exchange. Please mute your mic. Open access is another important aspect which has come after Electricity Act 2003, and bilateral I was talking about. So we will talk. There are three different type of transactions happening. Basically, one is the collective power exchange, as I've told you. Then the bilateral, which is one-to-one, that you were giving the example. It may be between two distribution company. It may be between a power generation company and a distribution company. Anything. And the third one is like unscheduled interchange, that is called a deviation settlement mechanism, DSM. So all that comes under the open access. So total per year energy has gone to 130, and out of that 130 billion units per year is transacted through the short term only. So that is 10%. So overall is 1300 billion units. So 130, 10% is from the short term. Out of the short term, power exchange has a dominant portion of 65 billion units, almost 50%. And then second is the bilateral. So power exchange always gives best price because it's a common neutral platform for all the participants. So there is full transparency. There is no preference can be given to anyone in compared to the bilateral. So the power exchange is a better option for a competitive electricity market. This is the picture shown for the Indian power system. You can see the coal is dominating with 55%, almost 200 gigawatt, and this data is for 31st August 2019 from CEA report. And total installed capacity is 365 gigawatt. Out of that, 200 gigawatt coming from the coal. Peak demand is just half of it, 180 gigawatt. And hydro is the second largest. It is 12.5% with 45 gigawatt. Then gas is around 7%. Nuclear and diesel are very small. Then the renewable portion has gone to 23.7%. Out of which solar and wind are almost becoming equal now. However, wind is still more, around 10%. It is 9%. And then biomass and the small hydro is there. And so renewable has gone up to around 87 gigawatt out of 365 gigawatt. Power market or the short-term market is 10%. Generation growth is 7.5%. Annual consumption is around 1300 billion units. The share of private has gone beyond the figure what we have shown in 2015. It is now 45% around. Central is 25%. State is 31%. So this is the overall picture for the Indian power scenario. Any question here? Is it clear to all of you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any question? Is it known to all of you, or am I really giving you something new and useful?
New and useful, sir.
Okay, good. So let's move. And as I was telling you, our electric power industry is the most polluting one, and out of global basis, India is contributing 6% carbon emission. If you see the peak demand and installed capacity growth over the future, currently we are around somewhere here in between these two, and we are close to this. So you see that peak demand and the installed capacity is almost 50%. And now I have a question here. That we say that our peak demand will be 50% of our installed capacity, right? So means our installed capacity is always surplus. Then why we have deficit?
Sir, because installed capacity, our solar power plant is not working in daytime, and some wind power plant is working about 8 to 18 hours only. So how can we generate about total installed capacity?
Right, very good. So the first reason is the installed capacity doesn't mean that it continuously 365 days, 24 hours operate with the same capacity, right? So out of which something is renewable, which is not available 24 hours. All the plants are not operating at the full capacity all the time. So our installed capacity may be 500 or 700 or something, but actual power generation may be less than that. That is the one reason. Second, there are three reasons. You just follow the flow of power. Your answers will be coming. You have started from generation, that is true. What the next?
And our transmission line losses is so high, about
Right.
17% is there.
It is more than 25% here. So average, if you say it is 20 to 25%. So we lost 20 to 25% in transmission. Further, our generation will reduce, right?
Yes, sir.
Then
Distribution.
distribution losses are also there. So T&D losses together is around 25%. But whatever is demand here is accounted demand, official recorded demand. But there is a lot of unofficial or unauthentic or what do you say, demand is there, which is not known or not recorded basically officially. Okay, so this demand curve rises and this generation curve falls, and that's why, however, our difference is now very, very less, but it's still there is the deficit. So this is showing the same thing what we have seen earlier. Coal, oil, gas together is 225, which is fossil fuel is 225 gigawatt, hydro 45, nuclear, RES, and RES includes solar, wind, small hydro, and biomass, and the percentage wise it is 24%. And if you see the installed generation capacity in India has gone in a significant manner over the last 10 years. So you can see thermal has also increased, but the growth in thermal is more than the growth in others. That's why the renewable is still not coming up in that manner, which is there. But you can see the green belt, which is for renewable, is increasing, and the coal black one is slightly decreasing. Share percentage. This is an interesting table. If you see the table from the top, the region-wise resources are shown: northern, western, southern, eastern, like that. And this is thermal, nuclear, hydro on the column-wise. So the interesting figure is where do we have the coal mines, in which part of India? Maximum coal mines in which part of India?
In northern, in Jharkhand and Odisha.
Even in
Part of
South
India.
also, sir. In South also.
Region. Which
Northeast.
region?
Eastern,
Northeast.
sorry.
Eastern region.
Eastern,
Eastern region.
Eastern
Eastern,
region. Right. Eastern region. Right. So Eastern region should have maximum thermal generation.
That's like that is not like happening in
No,
India.
sir. No, it is not possible.
It is not possible.
No, it's possible, but
There is a
we have not
possibility, but they are
decided
not using.
that type of.
Unfortunately, it is not even second, not even third. Right? If you see the total of the thermal, The maximum is just opposite, western part of India.
Sir, some part of the some part of the coal we have for using in the thermal power plant, we are purchasing from Australia, and that's why we have installed in southern part of India, I think.
No,
Yes, sir, it is also.
import some good quality coal, but because our coal quality is not good, we have a huge carbon emission.
Yes.
So imported coal is there, that's true. But my point is, we have the coal mines in eastern part of India and thermal generation is maximum in the western part of India, right? But even second is also northern part of India, and third is the southern part of India, and fourth is the eastern part of India. See the sequence, right? So that is unfortunate, and that is because the industrial development is not good in eastern part of India as compared to the western and others. Second thing is the renewables, and maximum wind and solar is still in the western part of India. So you see southern part of India, sorry. So you see the southern has maximum RES. Now the renewable is solar is increasing in the western part of India. So maybe definitely after a few years the western part will also have more RES, and that is what shown in the bar charts here. This is the gigawatt capacity wise, right? So RES is increasing in a significant manner.
Sir,
Okay,
one point is, I think the land availability is also important part for the installation of thermal power plant and renewable energy power plant. Because the
yes,
northern
but
India,
that is not
we
a
have
constraint.
in northern India we have maximum agricultural land, and that cannot be used for the industrial.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sir, here in South India, most of the people are now trying to install on homes also, sir.
Yes,
One
yes.
of the reason renewable energy source is increasing in day by day because
Yes.
here such a way that the people are thinking if we install that, we can use the power and remaining can be buy by the SPDC, means in our side distribution companies. That is the one of the reason it has been improving also.
And along with that, I will show you the data. There is a huge gigawatt scale plants are coming in southern part of India, right? And that is the major reason. We have the world largest. Means it's the war again between the China and India. In some point of time in news, you will see the China is the first or the largest solar one location at a single location, largest single solar PV installation. Sometime India will become that. So at the time of commissioning, the figures change. So this is showing the sector-wise, state, private, and central. You can see the ratio of the private green one has changed significantly from last 10 years, and you see that so renewable is coming from the private, maximum coming from the private, significant share, and that is very good sign, very good sign. Only the private is not there in the nuclear, otherwise it is everywhere, and hydro also, which is also not given to the private sector. Mostly it is government sector only. So except nuclear and hydro, private is doing significantly high. You see in the thermal, whether it is renewable, everywhere. This is showing you the electricity generation over the last 10 years. So there is one more column is given for the Bhutan import. Do you know we have a cross-border power trading?
Yes, sir.
With whom?
With Bangladesh and Bhutan and Nepal also.
Very good. We have started with Myanmar also. Okay. And we are planning with Sri Lanka also. We can definitely have with Pakistan also, you know that. And but why we are not doing it, that is also known to all of us. So technically there is no issue. Politically there are a lot of issues. So Bhutan import. See, there is always an import from the Bhutan, because Bhutan has all the years, over the year, means throughout the year, has a surplus. Our Nepal and Bangladesh have a fluctuating. Some point of time they have surplus, some point of time they have deficit. Yes.
These are only mainly hydropower plant, I think.
Right, they are all run-off river. Yeah. So all are hydro. I will show you some. I have a slide for the all neighboring countries. So this is the way we are growing, and yeah, this chart is interesting. And as we have shown in the previous chart, you can see there are two bars shown here. One is red, one is purple. One is for program, one for achievement. So the actual is the achievement actually. Don't bother about that program and achievement. The point here was to show there is no bar shown for the renewable. Yes,
Yeah.
thermal is there, hydro is there, nuclear is there, total is there, but renewable bar is not there because this is a bar for energy generation, not for the installed power. Earlier bar was for the installed power. This is for the total installed capacity, megawatt, where the bar from the renewable was higher than the hydro, much higher than the nuclear. Even it was more than double than the hydro also. Because if you see the percentage wise, hydro is 13%, renewable is 24%, nuclear is 2%. So installed capacity wise, renewable is 24% and nuclear is 2%. Hydro is 13%. But if you go for the generation or energy point of view, you see the renewable bar is missing here. And what is the reason? If you plot here, the bar height will be
Scale,
almost,
yeah.
huh?
Very small.
Almost negligible.
You can see from this, if you just subtract the achievement table given below from May 20 to May 19, the 1 year, the difference will be how much? This is in million units, figure in million units. So difference between these two is 1000 million
Small,
units,
yeah.
12,000 to 13,000,
Yes, yes, yes.
1000 million units, right? And this bar chart is also in million units, so 1000. And nuclear is around 10,000. So it will be 1/10 of the nuclear. Bar height for the renewable will be 1/10 of the height of this nuclear, which is almost invisible. However, percentage wise, nuclear was 2% and renewable is 24%. And energy wise, which is actual important figure, energy yield, which is you are going to consume in your appliances, is 1/10 of the nuclear. And this is a recent figure, April 20 to June 20. Okay, so you can imagine the amount of energy is much lesser, and that is the problem with the renewables. This is I was talking about the significant reduction in the energy. What do you say? Energy deficit and the power deficit. Power deficit means peak power demand deficit. So it has come down to around in the 2 to 4% range, which is much less compared to the earlier figures, which were in the range of 8 to 12%. But it's still the lower table, which is for the TND and ATC losses. ATC is aggregated technical and commercial losses. TND is transmission and distribution losses. You can see these figures are in the range of 20 to 25%, which is a challenging still we have. It should be come down to around 15 to 20%, not more than that. So this is showing the deficit in energy and peak demand over the last 10 years. You see the earlier figures were in the range of 12%, but now it has come down to 2 to 4%. This is the data showing for the renewable part from the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, achievement in grid connected power. So you can see that wind power is still dominating around 37 gigawatt, then solar ground mounted, solar rooftop, small hydro, biomass, waste to power, and total. And the bar chart is shown at the bottom. Yeah, this is an interesting figure, and here we should understand that how the nature is kind on us, and it has made a natural balance for our resources and our demand. So our hydro potential is only at the northern northeastern part of India, right? Our coal potential mines are maximum in the eastern part of India, and we can transport the coal. You might have seen a lot of trains traveling from the eastern part of India to going to other part of India. But we cannot transport these hydro resources. You cannot transport the water reservoirs, right? You have to exploit and then and there only, right? You have to make the hydropower plant at the resource where the resource located. So you can only transport the coal. You cannot transport the wind and solar also. Now wind and solar has a specific location. You can see that wind is blowing everywhere. How do you say that wind is available only in southern part of India? But the wind power generation needs a minimum cut-in speed. So 5 meters per second is the minimum cut-in speed through which only we can generate the effective energy output. And that's how they have in limited pockets of southern part of India. And similarly, solar is also, solar radiation is available everywhere. Why are you saying solar is only on the western part of India? Because solar radiation intensity is highest in the western part of India. It is varies from 4 kilowatt hour per meter square per day to 6 kilowatt hour per meter square per day to the move from northeast to western part of India. So the thumb rule is, suppose you install 1 kilowatt solar plant in my site that is near to Kolkata. I am in Kharagpur. So it generates around 4 units of electricity per day.
Yes.
It's around 3.8 somewhere like that. So even if 4 units per day, and if you put the same 1 kilowatt plant in the Rajasthan or in Gujarat, you will get 6 units per day. So it's 50% higher yield with the same investment. So you can imagine, these are all business. They have to make a profit also. So once you are getting 50% higher yield, why you will invest large solar plant in these other parts of India? And that's how the gigawatt scale plants are coming in the southern and the western part of India. So we have earlier, when this solar and wind was not there, it was a huge unbalance. Basically, the hydro potential and coal potential were on the one side, and the demand, which is north and western part of India, which was on the other side. So it was unbalanced. Resource on one side, demand on the other side. But how now with this solar and wind, it has uniformly distributed, and we are exploiting it all around. Any question till here? Okay, so this is giving you the peculiar region-wise information on different part of regions of India, and each region has its unique specification. Like northern region is a deficit region. Deficit means their own resources are less than their own demand, right? So, and major resources are run of river hydropower plant, either weather sensitive, and adverse weather conditions happens there. Northeastern part has a very low loads. It's a surplus region, again based on the hydro potential. But there is an evacuation problem, chicken and neck call. It is called chicken neck. So you don't get enough right of way for the transmitting this excess power to this. Then eastern region is also surplus power, and they have high coal reserves. Large pithead thermal power plant are there. Western part is a larger industrial load, deficit region. Southern region is also a deficit region and high agricultural load. Primary sources of energy. So can you tell what are the primary sources of useful energy? Can you name them?
Solar, wind.
Very good. Solar is the primary source of energy, but wind is not primary source. Do you know? Wind is a secondary source or byproduct of sun.
No, byproduct of sun, yes.
Why? How it is byproduct of sun?
Because due to the motion of the earth and this solar energy, the wind is the motion of the wind is there.
No,
Movement
motion
of
of
the wind
earth
is
is one factor. Other factor is
Other factor is the
Pressure
difference
of
difference.
solar light, and
difference of
that
pressure.
will change the pressure of the
what will change the pressure?
Temperature.
temperature of the
Why temperature will
earth.
different?
Heat
Because
energy
the
of the
earth,
sun.
solar energy received by the earth, and that heat up the wind of the
No,
connecting to
why
the earth.
the temperature will be different on the earth?
Where we are receiving the solar energy, that will be that area will be hotter than the
Land
where we
and
are not.
water. Land and water. You have
No, land and
temperature.
water has a local effect. Here we are talking about a global wind system. Land water effect is very localized.
Because intensity of
See,
sunlight
solar
is
radiation
different.
is
Yeah,
not uniform. Solar radiation is not uniform over
uniform.
different latitudes of the earth, right?
equatorial region receives more.
that causes the temperature difference, and that causes the pressure difference. So that pressure difference causes the movement of air, that is wind. And then the earth has a rotating on its own axis, right? That causes the direction of the wind. So one scientist called Coriolis that has invented that theory, and that is called Coriolis force. So in northern hemisphere, the wind direction moves toward the right hand side, and the southern hemisphere, it deviates towards the left hand side. So that theory is there. You can search in the literature. And so wind is one of the byproducts. What are the others? Tell quickly.
There are so many, sir. Petroleum and coal and gases.
All fossil fuel. All fossil fuel are the
fuels.
byproduct, because without sun, their cycle is incomplete. If sun is not there, they will not be formed. Their cycle is incomplete. However, they take thousands of years to form, but sun has an important role in that. So fossil fuel are also byproduct of the sun. Very good. What else?
Water.
Hydro
hydropower
resources.
plant. Hydropower plants.
Yes, not plant. Hydro resources. What else? Evaporation. Water evaporation is sun has a major role. So hydro is also there. What else?
Biomass energy.
Biomass and fossil, water, wind. Anything else?
Nuclear.
Have you heard about tidal or geothermal?
Tidal power plant.
Tidal is byproduct of sun only.
Geothermal.
Tidal is
Moon
also
also.
depends upon the moon also.
Right. So that's why tidal is considered as a primary source, because it does not depend only on the sun, and moon has a dominant role in that, because moon is much closer. So that's why it is not called as a primary source. It is not called as a secondary source of the sun. It is called as a primary source. What else? Geothermal.
Geothermal. Yeah.
What, geothermal is primary or secondary?
It's primary.
Secondary, sir. It's a secondary.
Why secondary?
Because the earth temperature depends upon the sun. Because we are recharging this earth ground temperature is recharged from the sun, solar energy. So that's why
Geothermal temperature is recharged from the sun.
I think
From volcanoes.
volcanoes.
So does it has any control from the sun?
No, sir. No, sir. That is not at all.
No, sir.
Yeah, so that is again a primary source. Geothermal is not dependent on the sun. That is, radioactive decay is the primary source of energy for the geothermal energy. So sun is the primary source, and this PV and thermal you haven't talked about. Solar PV, solar thermal, wind, wave energy. Even wave energy is a byproduct of sun, because when the wind blows over the ocean surface, that causes a wave. Ocean thermal energy conversion system, hydro, biomass, biofuel, coal, oil, natural gas. Okay, all fossil fuels. Then your geothermal is a primary source because it's dependent on the radioactive decay and chemical reaction. Tidal is again the motion and gravitational pull of the sun, moon, and earth all together. And sometime in some literature, human-induced nuclear reaction is also called as a primary source. Okay, I am stopping here because I think it's 11:31. So this is a kind of name and nomenclature and comparison between renewable and non-renewable. Yeah, Professor Arvind.
Okay.
If you allow, I can continue. Otherwise, I can stop.
Actually, sir, next.
Yeah, Professor Jai Govind, how are you?
So he is also ready. Now next speaker is Dr. J.J. Singh, sir.
Oh, okay, very good. So I will get a chance to listen to him also. So I will continue from here.
So thank you very much, Dr. Vajpayee, for giving very insight regarding the Indian power sector and the global scenario regarding the energy. And I think it will ignite all the participants, and they will discuss. And they will first think about that, and definitely they will discuss in the tomorrow's lecture with you. So from my side, thank you very much, and we will again connect in the third day of the first session, means tomorrow. Thank you.
I will share the PPT with Dr. Arvind, then he will dispose as his plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, dear participants, now we have the second speaker of today's program. We have with us Dr. Jai Govind Singh, faculty member at Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok. So, J.J. Singh sir, are you ready? Your voice is not coming. Voice. You just open your voice.
Your mic is mute. Please unmute your mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So let's begin some brief introduction about the Dr. Jai Govind Singh. So Professor Singh obtained Bachelor of Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Allahabad, M.Tech from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, and PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur in year 2008. After that, he joined as a postdoctoral research associate at KTH Stockholm, and then from year 2009 July to October, he was at University of Queensland as a postdoctoral research fellow, and in year 2009 he joined Asian Institute of Technology as the assistant professor, and presently he is working as the associate professor at the same institute. Till now, Dr. Singh supervised more than 55 MTechs and 6 PhDs. He published more than 92 articles in very renowned international journals, conferences, book chapters, etc. His research interest is mainly smart grid and variable renewable energy integration, microgrid design, controls and applications, power system restructuring and economics, design and operation of generation, transmission and distribution system, energy systems, economics and policy, electric and hybrid vehicles. So, though still brief, if anybody is interested, they can go on the AIT Bangkok website also. So this is from my side. Now I request to Professor Singh, if he is ready, he can start the show.
Okay, thank you, Professor Arvind, and all participants. Good afternoon. Here, and I think there is a good morning. Here it is 1:05.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Just a little bit increase your voice
Okay,
or sound, whatever is there. You can volume also. You can volume. And sir, this is live streaming on the YouTube, and we are also recording. So please don't close your video.
okay.
Professor Arvind, if you allow me, I want to add one more thing about Professor Jay Govind.
Yeah, you can. Sir, you can.
Just for the curiosity of participants' point of view.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
we all have shared the same lab in IIT Kanpur and the same Guruji, and so he is the only person who has become international faculty in our group. All others are within India only.
Yeah, now entry back is now blocked. Looks like. Anyway, so Arvind, I mean this is look like first time I'm using Google Meet for this presentation. Usually I use Zoom and other platform.
Okay.
So okay, now my presentation is okay. Not it.
Now you can share, sir. It is visual. It is visual. It is visual. Yeah, quite visual.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so again, good morning and welcome to this session. And I thanks Arvind and NIT Agartala for inviting me for this talk. And also I would like to thanks my friend Dr. Bajpayee. And also it will be helpful from his talk. Already he discussed about the renewable sources and things. So, okay, I will talk about mostly related to operational issues, and it is not power electronics. It is hidden power electronics. So how interfacing and things and management both sides, those things I will discuss. Okay, so before moving that, these are my outlines for today's presentation. We will talk about some renewable energy challenges, including primary sources, and then various solutions for the renewable integrations, and then last about key challenges in smart grid implementations. Okay, already briefed. So before moving to the main talk, maybe few slides you can see that from where I am, my affiliation AIT. So this was established in 1959 as a postgraduate university So only master and PhD studies are here, and all students are like international, mostly like 75% non-Thai and 25% from home country. And yeah, this is life at AIT. This is very green and nice campus, residential campus. Yeah, this is a structure of my school. In AIT, there are 3 schools, and in my school, like they call it faculty in other universities. So here it is, they call a school. So I belong to Department of Energy, Environment, and Climate Change, and where this is my program, Sustainable Energy Transition. I am also chair of this program. In AIT, energy study started long back, and it was started with renewable energy study in 1979. Now we have revamped and upgraded to new program, which is now known as a sustainable energy transition. So we have almost 1,300 plus graduates, all are master and PhD, and they are from more than 30 countries, while AIT has graduates from more than 100 countries, around 25,000. Okay, so let's move to our main talk. As previous speaker mentioned about primary sources and all. So this is the main challenge of like finite supply of fossil fuels. There are different projections, but more or less all projections say that one day or by end of this century or somewhere or mid of century, this century, supply will start declining. So it will reach at maximum level, saturation total, and then it will start depleting, and then by end of next century or so, it can finish. But other side, if you look at total demand is increasing exponentially, not decreasing. Okay, so this is the graph you can see. This shows the total demand, and this
Sir, your voice is not coming. Dear participant, I think he is disconnected. Just wait.
Sir, no, there is no audible from your sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Is it right now? Okay.
Are you getting my voice?
Sometimes, sir. All the time not.
Okay, but Dr. Singh is disconnected. What is the reason? Even I cannot call him also because he is outside of the country.
Hello, Arvind.
Hello?
Now okay?
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Actually, I was using Wi-Fi and in disconnected.
So that's why your voice is little bit slow. Means you can say feeble. थोड़ा voice बढ़ाना पड़ेगा.
Now still, so it
No,
is
no.
still slow.
Little bit
ठीक है कि
improvement.
नहीं?
Little bit improvement is there. Little bit improvement is there.
Okay. तो थोड़ा सा मुझे तेज बोलना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, थोड़ा तेज बोलना पड़ेगा.
अच्छा. तो अभी कहाँ डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ था?
यही, हाँ ये प्रोफाइल था, प्रोफाइल प्रोफाइल।
अच्छा यहाँ से, ओके। तो अभी ठीक है?
हाँ, now it's good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you have already mentioned about my profile, so no need. Yeah, this is AID from where I belong. So as I mentioned, it is international university, and it established in 1959. And at a time around 2,000 students, and mostly from 40 to 45 countries, and around 40 to 45% female students. It is a residential campus, and we receive like 3 to 4,000 applications. 75% students are non-Thai, and this is life at AIT. And this is my department where I belong.
But sir,
yes,
वो आपका स्लाइड मूव नहीं कर रहा है, स्लाइड मूव करिए।
तो स्लाइड क्यों नहीं?
हाँ, आ गया इस पे।
अब मूव कर रहा है?
हाँ, ठीक है।
Is it okay? Okay. So I belong to this program, Sustainable Energy Transition, and also I am academic chair of this program. This program started in 1979 as a renewable energy technology. So we are already around 40 years, more than 40 years. And now we have revamped, and now it is like offered as a sustainable energy transition from this August. We have more than 1,300 graduates from more than 30 countries. Okay, now we start with our main talk on the energy. So as you know that energy supply is finite, primary supply, and especially fossil fuels, and by different projections, it will start depleting by mid of this century, and while total demand increasing day by day, and you can see somewhere in next 50-60 years, supply and demand will have a 50% gap. So it means this is the gap which already started, and this gap has to fulfill by other options. Okay, and those options can be like energy consumption, like conservation.
Sir, move your slides, sir. Move your slides.
So is it moving now?
Not now.
Why? What is problem?
That is stuck only on your that school, departments, energy, environment, others.
Okay.
So you just click. Earlier slides were moving.
Is it okay now?
Not moving.
Not moving?
Not moving.
So where is the problem?
But earlier you have shown na slides were moving. What is the issue now?
Now
You just click on this. Now it's moving. Now it's moving. You just
now moving.
now moving. Go ahead.
So
Go
इसका
ahead.
मतलब फुल स्क्रीन करने पर नहीं मूव कर रहा है क्या?
हो सकता है। ये अभी मूव कर रहा था।
तो ठीक
अभी
है,
मूव
तो
कर।
हम ऐसे ही चलते हैं, ठीक है?
हाँ, now it is showing slide number 7. You move ahead.
Is it okay?
Now it's okay. 8 is coming.
Okay, so it means maybe when I am making it full, probably there is some issue.
So then you can.
Okay.
There is no need to expand it.
Okay.
You can.
So it is visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is my program where I belong, and this is the finite supply, and this is the gap around now going to have around 50% next 50-60 years, and that gap has to fulfill by different options. One is reduction in demand, second is increase efficiency, and third one is using up the renewable and other new sources. Now this is okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So early wind engineer, as I mentioned, Abraham Lincoln mentioned that wind will be a promising options one day, and that's true now. And similarly, Edison had a same vision and about solar, and that's now you can see that. This is electricity grid structure. Okay, now this electricity grid structure, or you can say operational issue, is different than the other commodity markets, where you can have a warehouse and storage and so on. So if there is a surplus in supply side or excess demand, you can have a warehouse and maybe some waiting period. But in electricity, there is no waiting and there is no warehouse at that level. There is a warehouse possible, battery storage and some other storage, but it is not too much. So it will be very limited. So it means you have to balance every millisecond, and this balancing issue create most of the all problems which what face electricity industry, like integration, operations, deficit, surplus. These all issue because of this balancing issue. So this balancing, instantaneous balancing, is the main issue. See this intermittency. One example in a, like you can see, within a 5 minutes, almost 81% drop. So if this drop is in other products like food grains or electronics items or any other things, so there is nothing going to happen. They have enough time to manage. But in grid, they will have a problem. So this is just 8 megawatt solar PV farm. Suppose that farm is 1000 megawatt. Then it means 800 megawatt or 810 megawatt gone. How you can bring back this much amount or backup from other sources? 800 megawatt is not a small amount. So how to manage? So until a small amount of penetration in grid, not a big deal, because already there is enough spinning reserve and non-spinning reserves, like 15 to 20%. So they can accommodate these uncertainty from those reserves. But if you increase like 4, 5%, 6% penetration of total power demand, then those backups are not able to manage these fluctuations. This is another example of wind. You can see this solid line is the wind speed or wind power availability, and dotted line showing the load demand. Sometimes wind is able to meet fully demand, and sometimes almost zero. So it is 2000 or 3000 demands, 3500. How you can meet if this is 2000? So how you can bring back this from backup? So what does mean? Are you going to have a whatever amount wind and solar you installed, same amount of storage? No, because that will be very, very expensive. It may be more than expensive than the generation technology. And also life is like batteries for 5 years. Other storage may be like pump storage, that's costly and also not easily available. And air, compressed air storage, but that's also not very common. So these are the issue in storage. So another issue, resource utilization. If you look at load curve is you see here, okay, load. So load is like peak, peak off, peak off, okay. So it is not flat, not continuous, linear or flat. So this is a fluctuating peak off and peak period. If you see here, it fluctuates from 2000 to even 1500 to 3500. So it means average may be somewhere 2,500 or 2,700 average demand. So this 800, 700, Arvind,
Yeah,
is it okay?
it's okay. It's okay. Come in.
Okay. Good. So this 700-800 excess demand, or you can say peak demand, how will meet? For that, you have to keep the excess generation for peak period. You have to keep the transmission and distribution capacity, and based upon that, non-linear, you can say valley like bell type of load curve. From that, more than 25% of the distribution asset, more than 10% of generation asset needed like 5% of the time in a year. So that cost around hundreds of billions of dollars investment. This is for US, but it is true for each country. No country has a flat demand. And maybe 25% of day only there is a peak demand. And that can be around 25% or so, maybe more than average demand. So that 25% investment is huge. And asset utilization is very, very weak or uneconomical. So how to address this challenge or issue? Another issue with the intermittency with those wind and solar are like grid codes. So if you look at grid codes, these are the different countries, grid codes in Europe. Some countries say they can allow for zero voltage at fault location, means three-phase dead short circuit for a like very short period, and then they have to recover back. Some say no, they can't allow. Some say they have to recover, okay, from 20% to 80% within a almost 1000 millisecond. So these are the different grid codes depending on their strength of the energy supply systems in country. If you have a very strong supply system, then you can make very stringent grid codes. And basically that will improve the power quality and also reliability, and which all affect the customers satisfaction. So more sophisticated and critical loads can be served from stringent grid codes. Okay, as you know, the semiconductor industry is very, very sensitive loads. Similarly, pharmaceutical industry, then cement industry, I mean, other like chemical, automobile industry. So these are very sensitive loads and they can't tolerate any power quality issues. So for them need very stringent grid codes, but making stringent grid codes is very expensive options. It need a lot of resources, and it need those resources will help to operate. If you don't have enough resources, then you have to have a little bit flexible grid codes, and that will have impact on that, or you can say power quality will be not good. For case of Indian system, so this is a grid code. You can see that it goes like 15% minimum at fault point and has to restore before 3000 milliseconds, like 80% back. So this is the period where they should not be disconnected. All solar and wind or sources, they should not be disconnected if there is a fault. But this is the area below this curve. They can be free to disconnect from system if it persists longer. In terms of frequency operations, you can see that if there is a drop in frequency because of either a large generators out, like solar or wind, or reduce power production, or they connect a large loads. So frequency will start drop. And then at this point, this is the like free falling points. You can't stop. It all stopped by the inertia of system. and that depends upon what is the rotor mass rotating, and that will release the kinetic energy in power, and that will compensate. But as you know, solar and wind, especially solar, there is no uh, rotating mass, and wind is very light mass. So this issue will have a problem in renewable integration. But there is a solution. Every problem have a solutions. Only matter is how well and how cost. So here you can see they can manage frequency by primary sources like reserve, by like spinning reserve. Then they have economic dispatch, and then they can go for a unit commitment if it persists for longer periods. Yeah, Arvind, I am going fast or slow?
Nice, pace is okay. Pace is okay, no issue.
And what about participants? Anyone they respond?
Anyone?
They are listening?
Yeah.
Sir, it's quite fine, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, please
Okay,
feel
yeah.
free to ask any questions. Okay, meanwhile, anytime. So,
Okay, sir.
okay, thank you. So, okay, so if you see the in terms of inertia, then this is the in per unit. And if you see the rate of change of frequency, it is related to change in P. P is all load and generation, okay, any changes, and divide by H. So if you have a high H value here, it means this rate of change of frequency will be low, okay, and that H will be high. How? This is the okay rating, so that's not a big deal. Main thing is J. J is the moment of inertia, kilogram meter square. So this inertia will basically determine how fast or slow frequency drop, this one. Okay, so you can see in the conventional sources, you have a huge mass, even it will be 100 tons, 200 tons, even 300 tons rotating mass, depending on size of the generators, especially turbo generators. While in renewable, you know, this is the inertia, it is negligible. So basically you can't get any significant inertia from the renewable sources. So how to compensate? If you are moving more and more renewable, then you have to find the solution for this issue, and that will affect the integration and of course operation. Yeah, so based upon that, so rate of change of frequencies, you can see here change in demand divided by frequency, sorry, inertia. And this is the graph showing if you have H value low, then this is the drop of frequency for same change in load. Please keep in mind, same change in load, you have a high drop in that period. If you have a high inertia, then drop is low. So this will affect the grid operation. You know that you can't allow frequency to drop from certain value. This is one example of a Ireland case. There was a change, you can see, of 432 megawatt, and aggregate inertia was like 475 second. It is in per unit. So rate of change of frequency was like minus 0.227 hertz per second. Okay, so in 1 second, it can drop from 50 to 49.38 hertz. So this is a drop per second. And if you suppose inertia is just divided by 4 times, it is lower than this, 4 times lower. So just here, put 1 by 4, you get multiplied by 4, and it will be like something 0.9 hertz per second. It means if you reduce the inertia by 4 times, it means rate of change of frequency drop will be 4 times, say around 1 hertz per second. and no power plants will start in 1 second except online battery storage. So even the fastest like diesel generator, even it takes like a minute or so. In case of gas power plants, it takes like 10 to 15 minutes now, new technology, or it takes 15 to 30 minutes. Hydro takes around 5 minutes. Thermal takes like 12 hours to 24 hours or 8 hours to 24 hours. Nuclear takes couple of months to years if starting from zero. So it means no generation can compensate this drop. So it will be free fall. Okay, so what is solution? Okay, we will see later, but one solution is that's what they use, load shedding, because load shedding is very fast. They can use in a couple of seconds start load shedding compared to the other spinning reserve also takes time and it is limited. So if you penetrate more intermittent sources, then you can see this is one case of European study. This is the installed wind capacity 0 to 2000 megawatt. Then what would be the reserve targets? So first reserve which should be ready in 1.25 minute is same. Okay, because first reserve depends upon the largest power plant shutdown or generator or largest load connections. But slow, if that connection disconnections or changes continue for longer period, then you need other alternative like which can start, let's say hydro or gas turbine or any other sources. So slow reserves slightly increasing 30 minutes which should be ready, 1 hour increasing, 4 hours also increasing which can supply. So these are the things reserve requirement increasing if you just depends upon the power backup or reserve. But this is not good and economical. So have to find some other economical options, alternative. In terms of balancing cost, in Germany, this is you see the if in base case, this is the balancing cost. If 10% wind, they have a then balancing cost increased many times, and if 20%, then also increase some more. But other interesting points you can find here, not all countries have the same balancing cost of for the different, or you can say same level of wind penetration. Why? Any participants can answer why for same level of wind penetration balancing costs are different for different countries. Any participants?
बस उनको बोलोगे फिर आपको पता है उनका नेचर बार-बार काय बोल रहे हो ये कर रहे हो वो कर रहे हो
Arvind?
Yeah. Listening. Voice is coming.
My voice is okay?
Yeah, okay.
So my question is why these countries have a different balancing cost for same level of wind penetration?
Due to different speed, wind speed, sir.
Okay. Any other? Any other volunteers? They are there or they are somewhere else?
All are there.
Okay. So this is a tricky about online. Basically, I am preparing a document for USAID projects. How do we actively engage online participants?
Yeah.
Because very tricky. They online. I mean, they show online and they are somewhere else. Anyway, so okay. Thanks for that person who replied. Okay, but answer is It depends upon type of the resources in operation and available. Like Norway, 95% plus hydro. So they operate through hydro. So you know hydro increasing, decreasing, there is no fuel cost. Only they have a capacity, so not change as much. So that's it is very low. Similarly for Sweden also like half of hydro and remaining nuclear. So integration in these two countries, including even Finland, is also more or less similar. So they have a less issue because of their hydro, huge hydro and nuclear. Of course, Norway is not nuclear. I mean, mostly 95% hydro. Denmark is, yeah, you can see they have an issue, but of course they are interconnected with other Nordic countries, so they have less impact. But Germany mostly rely on other sources. This is old, that is not new. It is almost 15 years old. So now Germany also have a more renewable. So because of different sources, mixed generations and mixed reserves, they have a different balancing cost. But India may have different balancing cost. Yeah, this is another interesting thing. If you have wind usually blow more in night time, and nighttime demand is low. So this is let's say base case or base load. This is this curve base load. Then wind is available in night time. This is excess wind. So there is excess power generation, but demand is this one. So what to do? As operator, they will go for curtailment because maybe wind can stop another hour, then they cannot start any generators unless they have like a hydro or something. So better they shut down wind. So they curtail the wind if you don't have any choice. So even you have a more wind, if there is no utilization, then no use of that. So what solution? So they can go for storage or they can go for the dynamic load increment like some other type of industrial loads or irrigation loads. They can get send the signals and they can start that. I will talk later. So they can utilize this excess energy or you can say wind energy available during night time when there is a more than demand. So now these are the various issues. Yeah, of course, I have not gone through more nitty-gritty levels. These are couple of issues. So now how to solve those things? So one option is to have a distributed grids. So in distributed grids can start with a home grid, building grid, community grid, district grid, provincial grid, national grid, international grid. So each grid can interact physically connected with the other neighboring. Okay, so can make a building level grid. So interfaces are there, and those mostly interfaces are with power electronics or tie switches. And if there is any issue in one, so you can isolate from another. So problems will not transfer from one side to other side. So this way you can uh, integrate more renewable without affecting whole grid or main grid. So this is one alternative and which is now happening. So in that case, you can see the you can have a battery based and single household electrification grid like house grid or home grid. Then you can have a microgrid, mini grid that can interact here. Then this interact here. Then you have national grid and then regional grid. So this way you can interact through some smart devices, either power electronics or yeah, tie switches, those things. Okay, synchronized. So if anywhere any problem, then you can just if problem is here, just disconnect this. If problem is here, just disconnect this and this. Of course, depending on the other situations. So this way you can make a distributed grids and then what I think. In that sense, one of my PhD students, he is now in NIT Kochi. He's an assistant professor there. He joined. So he did his PhD on this home grid setup. So this is solar house. Inside there are all appliances. This is purely for research purpose. So inside there is air conditioner, AC, like TV, battery, fan. Those all devices are there. Micro oven. So things are there inside. And solar panel 3 kilowatt, bi-directional meters, and all those things are there. You can see inside devices. So he tried to, what did? This is radiation in AIT. This is the production from, and this is the through his model. Basically, this paper he works he published in energy and buildings in Elsevier. So he's shown what he created to optimize the resources. He created a AC and DC supply in this system. So solar, it produce DC. So he directly take as a DC and supply this power to the DC loads like charging battery and some of the DC loads like fans and so on. And AC signal, I mean supply is also there for other AC loads. So that way he claimed to have a better efficient supply systems and also less power quality problems. Okay, you see the current harmonics and other efficiency. So he used directly DC. So he avoid the multi-stage conversion and by that improve the efficiency. So okay, this is a technical in the sense like he proposed like two supply system, one DC and another AC. If you have a two type of loads and two type of like generation, so no need to convert all DC power from solar to AC. So also there is a bi-directional meter in that solar house. So he integrated that solar panel with the grid, and in house solar house loads automatically loads takes power from the own generation or from grid. And also if there is excess generation, then inverter transfer power from own generation to grid. And this is the profile you can see, sometimes negative, sometimes positive. So that he made. Yeah, any questions so far? Any questions?
Someone is asking, I think voice is not coming here.
They can write in chat box also.
No, sir, no questions.
Hello.
Anyone, do you have any question?
Yeah, you can say they can write in chat box.
Okay, okay.
They can ask also if their microphone is okay. If microphone is not okay, then they can write directly in chat box. Okay, so this is okay for Indian grid. Just I try to add for the wind. Solar is also similar. So this you can see Indian electric grid codes here. In this case, show that three grid codes are overlapped and shown, and can see that what are differences among three grids. So solid line is Indian grid, and this dotted line is German grid, and broken line is the Irish grid. So if you look at from this, you can see that German grid is very stringent, very tight, but Indian grid is quite flexible compared to these two grids. Okay, And you know that in Ireland also they have a lot of wind, and of course Germany also they have more than 40 gigawatt wind now. So they have a quite a stringent grid connections, because to ensure that quality is proper or expected. So based upon that, these are the some points which IEGC suggested. Like you can see what amount of wind farm should be connected at what voltage level. Like wind farm capacity more than 10 megawatt should be connected at 33 kV or above. And FRT requirements is like for fault voltage of 15% to recovery voltage 80%. Means it does not allow 0%, 15% minimum. And clearing time is given next table. So these are the additional things you can see here. This table it say, okay. So if this is the nominal voltage and this is the PF. Yeah, Arvind, any questions?
No, somebody. Mr. Bisal Chaudhary, please mute your microphone.
Okay. And this is the lowest voltage. So these are the times clearing. So if low voltage 66 kV, so they allow for like 300 milliseconds. At 400 kilovolt, they only allow 100 milliseconds. And in one cycle, it is 20 milliseconds. It means 5 cycles they allow at 400 kV grid. And these are the time periods they are supposed to be connected if voltage at PCC exceed in this range. So you can see that in active power regulation, ramp down and ramp up facilities, during congestion, grid operator must set wind generator in must run mode, and if required, instruct to back down generation to safe value, and that ramp rates determined from for 10-minute duration. This is the ramp rate. Installed capacity divided by 1.5. For 1 minute duration ramp rate, installed capacity divided by 5. Okay, so this is for 50 to 150 megawatt wind farm. But if plant capacity is more than 150 megawatt, then active power control has to be achieved with maximum ramp rates like 30 megawatt per minute. Reactive power also, it should range from 0.95 lagging to 0.95 leading at the point of PCC. And during startups of wind turbine generation, they must not draw reactive current, large reactive current, especially for magnetization current, which will create the stability issue. And this is the voltage range. So the operation of wind generator beyond this range should follow the instruction of central commission enforced from time to time, and further wind generators should tolerate a frequency variation of 0.5 hertz per second. This should be able to tolerate this frequency variation 0.5 hertz per second. And also SCR for renewable energy sources is specified to be greater than 5. So this is fault clearing time, and this is the connection time during different violation. So power electronic devices and all, you can say wind turbine generator systems should be able to fulfill these criteria depending on their size to meet the grid codes requirements. Then they can only connect and operate. And these things have to be incorporated in their technology, either power electronics or the machine. Okay, now another solution is forecasting. So if you know well in advance what would be the generation, then you can make it farm generation and you can bid in market, and you can also tell to operator, and based upon that operator can prepare for the any contingency issue in real time happen. So that will basically uh, you can say increase the firmness of this non-farm generation, solar wind or non-farm generation. And what are the factors which depends on the its accuracy of forecasting, like balancing area size. Like from this table, if you see, this is the error. If you forecast in day ahead, so long horizon, then medium horizon, then short horizon. Okay, so 4 hour ahead and 2 hour ahead. So error is decreasing. Certainly, forecasting wind in advance is too much uncertain, and as much as you go too close to the real-time operation, then that will have a better accuracy. And another factors is geographic location. If you use shorter period, shorter geographic locations, small, like 1,000 kilometer. No, this is large compared to this. So this is small, 350 kilometer, and this is 1,000 kilometers. So error is also you can see high in each time horizon forecasting. If you forecast in day ahead, so if geographic area is small, so it is 6.8%, while it is 5.7, less than 1% almost. So it means the point or region is if solar or wind farms are distributed in large geographic area, then there is a less chance or it is less likely that whole area is under shadow or no wind. Because if it is a large area, then some area may be no wind or less wind, but other area have proper wind or at least better wind. So that's also a point which affect in forecasting. So these things are needed to be considered in forecasting. Any questions? Need any break?
No. Break will be at 1 or 1:10, near about 1 o'clock.
Okay, so no questions. Okay, next. Yeah, same things. You can see if you draw, if you forecast in a longer time horizon, 12 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 5 minutes, you see the accuracy improve, and also distance in a different geographic coverage. So if you forecast in a small area, then uncertainties are high. If you forecast in a larger area, then uncertainty are less. For okay, so for each time horizon. So this is what useful, and they can bid, they can forecast in advance, like 24 hour ahead, and like this. They can bid in market, and again they can forecast 4 hour ahead, and they can readjust in market. Again they can forecast 2 hour, 1 hour ahead. Even you can see, yeah, 1 hour 30 minutes, and they can readjust their bidding strategy in energy market or power exchange, and that way it can reduce the deviation or uncertainty in real time operations, and they can get better value. Of course, in beginning when penetration was very much low, like 1% or less than 1 or 2%, then they were allowed to generate whenever available, whatever available. But now as penetration increasing, it is not possible. So this is no more allowed. So they have to bid like other conventional generation. Okay, in operational terms, traditionally, operator, they made a defense line like the first line defense, second line defense, and third line defense. So if there is any security issue, any things change in system conditions, either some components out or something added, so it means net system condition change. Then new equilibrium points need to find, and that have to be stable. Okay, and that stable after corrective action. So in case of the first line defense, long term is grid strengthening options or solutions. Okay, then you have a preventive control where if it is always possible. Okay, so suppose at this instant there is a fault occur. Okay, then it takes sometimes if you use the traditional relays and circuit breakers, so like 1 to 2 cycles it takes in relay, and 1 to 2 cycles takes in the opening the contact, and then 1 to 2 cycles take the arc extinction process. So altogether 5 cycles. But advanced circuit breakers and relays are now very fast. They can even operate in a 1 to 2 or 3 cycles. So this much time they need to detect, then they clear the fault at this point. So this is like second line of defense. Okay, and they found after that even fault clearance there is some violation. So this is the point where they detected some violation. Now they use the third line of defense where some corrective actions they take. So this is what traditionally grid operator takes care. So now the question is what they take care during this period. So this period basically they take care like load shedding or some generation regulation, ABR, and those things. And of course, worst case is blackout also possible in a short area or maybe in a controlled area. So now with a new scenario, you can change this operational paradigm or strategy. Okay, so this is traditional defense line. Now, in new, you can use during preventive control, you can use time of use meter that will control the generation, I mean, especially load. Okay, so you can have a dynamic pricing. Okay, so you change the price of electricity and then customer will draw accordingly power. So it will have a less impacts on the generation side. So you can use time of use meter. So no more fixed price. Current electromechanical meters are dumb meters. Basically, they don't provide any incentive for changing load or varying load or dynamically controlling the load. So have to replace with a smart meter, or you can say time of use meter. So that is nothing but it adjusts, it say the price, and for each period maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 30 minutes, or 1 hour, depending on the utilities uh, readiness in terms of ICT and meter data management systems. So they can implement what period they are willing to accommodate, like 15 minutes or what. So if it is 15 minutes, it means every 15 minutes there will be different price. So energy bill will be different depending on the price at that period and energy consumption in that period. Then if there is anything happen, let's say here contingency happen, occur, fault, then it takes time to detect. Here contingency detected. Now this is you can say the emergency control. Okay, so they can use what are the options? They can use three options here. They can use, these are the generations, spinning reserve. Okay, so if they can manage, first priority is generation side changes. If they can manage from generation regulation, then fine. If not, then they have to go to load shedding. And load shedding is again divided here, just for here, but it is you can make many level, layer and granular. Two type of loads. One is low cost, another is high cost. It means this load, if you interrupt or shedding, then cost of interruption is less. But if you interrupt this load, then cost of interruption is high. So they choose depending on scenario. Okay. Similarly, during corrective control, so this is emergency and this is corrective control. So in that also they have same options: generation side rescheduling or like spinning reserve, and then load side interruption. So this is an interruptible load which agreed from the customer and between utility and customers during any period. Part of loads or will get some incentive for that. So this table is all details given. I'm not going to read that, but you can see the preventive control, emergency control, and corrective control. So they all will use in all three phases or stages. So based upon that, if you see that reserve capacity of generator side is first priority to be used, then reserve power, and then demand side is like interruptible loads. You have to curtail or interrupt based upon lowest price and then highest price. Yeah, Arvind, any questions?
Question I think they will ask later on. So you spare some time for the interaction in last.
Okay. So then I will finish and then for that I will keep.
Yeah.
Okay, so in a same way, but it is not a unit, but overall idea is same. They can create a like a renewable integration model. So these are the inputs like installed intermittent generations, detailed profiles and variability of load generation, then forecast errors for load and generation, and then cost of conventional resources. In that model, it can provide the outputs, operating flexibility requirements like how much reserve, generation, load, and then cost of integration if there is any variation in those generations. So this is how they use. They had commitment, then load following, and then regulation. Okay, so next solution is smart grid. So if you see here, whatever you want to implement these things, TOU and these things, these all comes from under smart grid. How to use that? So in case of smart grid, all I hope you all are aware of that. So it is not a new thing. So basically already our traditional grid have some basic ICT infrastructures, but that is only limited and that's only for utility level purpose. But now want to add customer. So to add customers response, you have to add more ICT layer to make it more smart, convey the information in both way. And of course, you have to keep in mind, utilities are countable on fingers, but customers are not countable. They are millions. So it means adding millions of customers means basically millions of small utility. So it is very complex, and of course you can get good response if you manage well. So far customers have been treated as a source of problems, but now same customers now looked or perceived as a source of solution or understanding. So based upon that, if you have a smart communications, then you can achieve from the grid like demand response and dynamic pricing. So you can have a different price for different period, and then you can get demand response from customers. So if high price, customer will reduce the demand. Like you can increase temperature of air conditioners, it will reduce the consumption around per degree 6% around, or you can change the irrigation pump shut down and use other time, something like you can do that. Then it can integrate all small type of sources which were unused so far. Also, because of these smart communications, many smart problems can be handled at in a distributed level. Means the distributed controls will be implemented where like RTU or IEDs can take care small problems without human-man interface. And also it can, if there is any problem in grid, it can disconnect part of grid, especially where there is a problem, and it can create an island. So our other uh, healthy part of the grids can be isolated and create a island, so they can operate without problems. Then because of that, all assets are you are monitoring online, or you can say regularly, so you have a better asset management in terms of that utilization. Also you can plan better with. Then you have a real-time simulation and contingency analysis, because you get the data more real time, so you can use for better way to prepare for the control actions for any coming contingency. And now this will create a energy markets at all level, not only power exchange. It will create energy market at a customer level or utility level or distribution level. And any amount of power, whether you produce or consume, you can bid in that energy markets. So basically, huge things will be required infrastructure. So if you have these all things, then you have a shared information you have to share if you want to get the intelligent response, and also it will continuously you have to optimize, and finally you get the intelligence response. Okay, one more things you can add, uh, shared values. Okay, shared values, because you have to share the values with the customer also. No more you can take only yourself. Okay, shared values. Okay, so rational. So you have seen some of the aspects of why you need a smart grid, but maybe a little bit more you can see. So there are societal regions, regulatory policy regions, technology regions, financial regions. Okay, each one is a huge things. I'm not going in those all details. Societal means the like green energy, environmental benefits, health benefits, and those all are the comes at societal. Then regulatory regulation changing depending on the different regions of countries' energy security. Like if I give example of Thailand, its generation mostly on natural gas base, around 65% generation in natural gas, and mostly those gases are imported. So Thailand want to add more renewables so that they can improve their energy security in future. So that's the regulation and policy. Then technology, you have a more solar and wind technology access, cost is lower, so you can use better way. So it also adding. And last, like financial, of course, these technologies cost is reduced and there is no fuel cost. So overall, it is now already on the grid parity of these renewables. If you look at what are the interest, why people are interested for a smart grid. So based upon some survey, you see the large, around 60%, because they want to improve the system efficiency. And around 40%, 45%, they want to improve the renewable energy integration, penetration targets. Then other in new products, services, markets, and then enabling customer choice and participation around 30%. And same like reliability improvements and 20% around optimal asset utilization. So these are the like attraction points of smart grid technology. Okay. And in terms of improvements, it improved the reliability by, like you can see here, around 14-15%. And these are other aspects. So this is smart grid. If you categorize, so if you see different layers, component layers, where you have a generation, transmission, distribution, customers. Okay. Then you have communication layer, protocols. Then you have information layer, data model. Then you have a function layer, what you will do. Okay. Then you have a business layers. Okay. So these things are like you have to layered, and then you can utilize and you can get these benefits, including these benefits from the smart grid. So that will basically improve and help to integrate renewable, even it can go to the 100%. So if you define what is smart grid based upon so far discussion, so if of course definition is there, you know, so what is your objective? So objective is to provide important changes in order to join new and alternative energy sources, which is mostly like renewable. Uh, Reducing the traditional fossil fuel based generation, improve the island sustainability, like during any problems, you can create island and you can avoid complete blackout. And also with waste to energy plant, electric vehicles, increase intelligence and automation level, making the electrical system capable of dialogue and interaction with the needs of various agents integrated within it. Various agents means including customers. So these are the interfaces, power interface, uh, communication interface, and information technology interface. These are the things you can get, as I think already I discussed, like dynamic pricing, energy management services, high use of renewable, distributed generation, electric vehicles, and so on. It will have impacts on our lifestyle also. You have to have a more smart devices which can respond as per grid price or grid side issue. Like you can chat with the devices. Even you can have a some control over devices smartly or remotely. Okay, you can check and you can reduce the energy footprint. These are some implementations. Smart place, like smart building, 3 buildings, 1 grid. Then 48 household, 6 towns. Then smart home here, 552 household. Then here 400 household. They are connected through different networks, and then they are, this is a control centers in Korea, Jeju Island, how they have implemented. So in terms of smart meter, which is a key or heart of the smart grid, which connect the customer and utility. Okay, so that's interface point. between customer and utility, and which will add the value to both. So in traditionally, okay, this you can see later. So in standard kilowatt hour meters, just you measure the cumulative kilowatt hour, and while in TOU you use the time of use. In advanced metering infrastructures, you use the communications and internal data and also meter data management. The smart meter, there are many more things. It connected with the home area network or remote service switches. Remotely, you can connect, disconnect devices or appliances or anything. So this is one you can see the how integrate with different hand home area network protocols, customer side, and this is the smart meter, and this is the utility side. So different connections. So I'm not going in details, looking at time. Okay, so if you implement, so customers relation with the utility is changing. Currently, there is limited interaction. So customers are passive. If you add some enabling technology which gives customers a new information like price, mix generation, maybe emission factor of grid and so on, then enabling services and prices will cause to, or you can say it will make informed customer. Customer will be informed. Then further, if you empower them to make some behavioral change, like they can use less, like a smartphone. Okay, so you use and you have a many apps for the battery management or data management or so on, or your personal like other disturbance management. Then you start investing. Okay, then once customer start investing in some energy efficient and controllable appliances, then it become part of energy system, and that's like customers become part of a smart grid. Yeah, Arvind, any questions, anything?
Audible?
Yeah, we are at end.
I'm
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So you have seen a lot of benefits. Of course, I have not gone through all those details, but few, and also I will show you some challenges, which is also not all, but some key challenges you can see. One is financial, huge investment, huge benefits, technological risk. You know the now technology changing every day, every month, every weeks. So what you invest today, maybe if you buy iPhone 12, now maybe next year 13 or 14, then what will happen to that technology? So as an individual, customers fine, but utility side not fine. It is huge risk because of huge investment. Uh, okay, and then already you know utility do not have money, and the lending institutions hesitant to lend money because they see that their business structure is not financially viable, so they are not ready to invest or lend money. And the stakeholders are eager to participate, but they are not willing to go with the state-owned utilities because they see there is a inertia, there is a problem in state-owned utilities, and that's this issue. And of course, participation of societal stakeholders in investment is a challenge. Technological perspective, consumers actively involved, and it decide the, or you can say the level of smart grid success is directly related to level of customers participation, number and level of participations. Again, there is a transactive issue. Assets can be converted in finance or resources or vice versa. That's have to make. And then also decentralized with two-way power flow, fully integrated, fully instrumental, huge amount of data, high granularity of control. Means control layers will be at many layers, not only one. And safety and privacy of consumer data. Of course, there are some other aspects which are also important, but I skip, like regulatory policy, like depreciation cost, like any technology. If they are like a smart grid technology going to implement, then what will happen to existing technology if their cost is not recovered or payback period not finished? So this regulatory body should have a clear-cut depreciation rules or cost recovery policy, and also how to integrate those all millions of customers. They would be like treated, they could be treated as a small utility, each customers. So there will be huge conflict of interest and integration issues. So these all will be there. And of course, security challenges, your data, energy management, all will be there. So with that, I would like to conclude for successful transition to future sustainable energy systems where it can integrate more renewables, the all relevant stakeholders must become involved, like governments, regulators, consumers, generators, traders, power exchange, transmission companies, distribution companies, power equipment manufacturers, and ICT providers. These are the briefly policy regulation, integration of renewables and electric vehicle, demand response, reliability, waste management, big data, cyber security, and resilient grid and disaster management. These issues are there and need to address. These are references. Thank you very much.
So dear participants, now session is open for discussion. If you have any query, please ask.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Actually, you have discussed one slide about the home grid
Yes.
study.
Yes.
Actually, sir, what sort of energy management is there in this sort of home grid study?
That is a power electronics interface. That guy use inverter, and then based upon that, he suggested that okay, rather all DC sources convert in AC. Again, you know, the most of the appliances or devices use DC, like computer use DC, and also your TV or many things they use DC. So why you
Yes.
want to convert DC to AC, again AC to DC? So directly you can use to AC. So that
Okay.
he created two supply system, DC and AC.
So that means in a same system there is a one DC and again there is a one inverter and makes it AC.
Yes,
And
because
sir,
still
okay.
not all loads are converted in DC, because some loads it is difficult, because traditionally you know AC is the main, so all loads their connection point is AC. So they use DC, like computer. We don't have any plug to connect DC, so it all use AC. Yeah, please next.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Anyone else?
Sir, the difference between the smart meters and now whatever the meters, advanced meters, can we have any difference in maintaining also, sir? Means in point of there should be always internet connections and availability of all the things, sir.
That point is very, I mean, good and tricky. In the sense, I mean, I teach a smart grid, then I used to say to students from beginning, even does not need communication. Just you
Yeah.
can fix two-time price today, like you know, one peak period, another peak of period. If government regulation is like two period price, and just meter will works, and then it will just time is there, and it will consume accordingly. No
Yes.
communication
For,
required.
sir, for every moment we have to integrate the data, means we have to connect the internet to the given system, na, sir? Meter.
No, no, this is what I'm trying to say. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
you are telling. That is a last level. where all meters should be connected with internet and utility and so on. That is the last stage. But I
Yeah,
think,
okay, sir.
but I don't think anyone need to go at that level unless they have a huge resources or money to spend on that. So if even a small case, they can start with just a 2-period pricing. You know firmware you have in there must be some software in meter, and they can fix one peak period. They can decide another peak of period, and it can work for 6 months, 1 year. So price cannot change if that is the case. So they can change accordingly, and no communication. Okay, it measure the house consumption, and it use the time of price, and then multiply the bill and add. No need all time communication. Second stage, government or regulation can change the price like 6 months or 3 months. In that sense, they have to advertise, and they can say that okay, utility can send a signal, and customer can update, like you update your Android or iOS. Okay, so those service providers say that now updates are available. So you connect internet and then even computer, you upgrade. So new pricing can upgraded regularly, or you can say periodically. So to be simple from beginning, no need communication. Simply smart meter or AMI is enough.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any
Oh,
other?
JJ Singh sir,
Yeah.
please turn on your camera. Turn on your camera.
Camera. Okay. Is it okay now?
No, slide is okay now. The slide is not required. Your photo is required so that live
Okay.
everyone can
Okay.
interact.
Stop sharing. Okay.
Okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Okay.
Anyone else, please? Any query? Okay, I hope.
Sir, about superconducting magnetic energy storage, what is the recent stage of this semiconducting magnetic energy storage, sir?
Yeah, I understand. It is already there. Okay, I mean, new is very fast, but no doubt expensive. So mostly they use for power quality improvements. Okay, so it is there. Okay, it is not very general. Any other questions?
Anyone else? I hope now you have resolved all the queries. Sir, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and presenting such a nice talk. I hope everybody enjoyed it because I am receiving so many chat box messages. They are very much enjoying, and you can see. So I hope also you will accept our invitation in future, and we will again interact with each other. So thank you very much.
जैन सर,
हाँ
जैन सर एक रिक्वेस्ट है,
Yes.
वो पीपीटी सर का जो पीपीटी है ना उसको थोड़ा शेयर
सर
करना
सुन रहे हैं, सर सुन रहे हैं.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, I
Sure.
request you please send the PPT to us, then we will go through in future also.
Okay, sure.
Because today we are not getting so much time to here, so we'll see in later on also, no problem.
He is Professor J.D. Singh sir. He is Professor Priyanath Das sir. He is from my institute, professor here.
Okay.
So he is also attending this course online, sir.
Okay. Good. Great.
No, I am not getting time, sir. Today there is a class, I have taken the class. After that, I have to. Before that also I have attended.
That's why also he is requesting for this.
Yeah, I understand. I also teach. So yeah, I mean
Your
our classes
your
finished last
lecture is
week.
very good. I have seen your PPT is also very good. Topic is very good, but I am missing you because I don't have the time. So please request you give the PPT, then in future
That would be helpful.
next time we can have.
So many participants are requesting for that. If possible, sir, please send me. I will send them.
We will not share anybody. We will keep it our
Okay, no problem. Okay, this is not my patent. Okay, so there is no problem. And we are teacher to share the
It's
knowledge.
your property, but we learn something from this PPT. That is our, as a faculty, it's our motto and demand
Okay,
also.
no problem, no problem. I will share that. Okay, I will send.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. And
So, Jerison sir, can we
Yes.
stop here, or
Yes,
is there
sure.
anything you would like to say?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
so, Jain sir, when the next session will start?
So now next session will be commenced from 2 o'clock, but I request you all please join by 1:50. And Professor Saikat Chakravarti from IIT Kanpur.
Acha, IIT Kanpur. Okay.
Yeah. So we will meet now 1:50.
Okay.
So, Dr. Arvind, so may
Yeah.
I leave now? Huh?
Yeah, thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
So now we
Bye.
are